Wake up 1. When do you wake up? Well, I'm a morning riser and I wake up at about 5 o'clock. Getting up early not only makes me feel refreshing and productive, but it also prevents my skin from having wrinkles. 2. Which time do you like most in a day? Personally, I enjoy late night when I come home from work and everything is filled with dim gray light. To me, it's a great time to kick back on the bed to have a chit-chat with my roommates. Surf the internet, listen to music, or watch a favorite movie. 3. What's your daily routine? Well, in the morning, I get up early to have a light breakfast and hit the gym at about 8 a.m. After 1 hour of workout, I leave the gym club and go to the supermarket to buy food to make lunch and dinner. In the afternoon and evening, I go to my workplace and start working from 14:00 p.m. until 21:00 p.m. 4. Do you think it is important to have a daily routine? Yes, it definitely is. A proper daily routine will help you arrange your activities in the most sensible way. Without a daily routine, people usually do things spontaneously, which could waste their time and reduce their work efficiency. I think those who are disorganized can gain more benefits from creating a daily routine. 5. What's the difference of routine between you and your teenager's times? Well, I can say that there's a huge difference between my life back then and my present life. You know, when I was a teenager, besides focusing on study, I have much free time to pursue my interests like watching films or listening to music. As opposed to my life now, my routine and time management has become stricter since I graduated from the university and began working as an English teacher. I'm so occupied with my work that I have little leisure time for my pastimes. Polite 1. Do you think you are a polite person? Why? I do think that I'm a well-mannered person. When I meet up with the elderly, I always greet and respect them. Also, I treat everyone surrounding me kindly and I never insult anyone unless they truly deserve it. 2. Do you think people should be polite? Why? I think politeness plays a vital role in our life because a polite person earns a lot of love and respect from others. Additionally, having good behaviors also means you have good social skills, which helps you to make friends and build a great rapport with others. 3. Who taught you to be polite? Since I was a child, my parents were good role models who taught me to be a polite girl by showing respectful attitudes towards older people and talking to others with sufficient and correct honorifics. Whenever I was not really nice to someone, I was strictly punished or scolded by my father and my mother. 4. How people show politeness in your country. In Vietnam, good manners are the juniors properly greet the seniors when they meet each other. Furthermore, politeness is shown during the meal when everyone has to wish others a delicious meal and the offspring must wait for their grandparents and parents to eat first. 5. Have there any changes in politeness in the past few decades? I believe that people are more polite to each other in recent years. This is simply because in our current society, people are more civilized and well-educated, so they know to behave properly towards others. Cook 1. Can you cook? I would say I am just fine at cooking. I'm confident when I cook food for myself or 2 people but not for a huge bunch of people. Neither do I know how to cook the great delicacies that my mother can cook. 2. Do you often do any cooking? I am a working woman and currently living with friends in Hanoi. I have to cook on a daily basis and bring it to the workplace because I can't stand eating out frequently, which is really harmful to my health. 3. Do you like cooking? Why? Why not? Yes. I'm quite into cooking because I believe that home-cooked meals could be safer to my health and also I'm a foodie. I'd like to try various recipes and taste all kinds of tasty food. I always do some cooking in my home with my mother during the weekend to enjoy the family time. 4. Who taught you how to cook? My mother was a great teacher who gives me step-by-step instructions about how to cook some traditional Vietnamese dishes like spring rolls, fried eggs. Whenever I have spare time, I usually give her a hand in preparing meals, and I seize these chances to learn a lot of cooking techniques from her. 5. Is it important for husbands to know how to cook? I think husbands share responsibilities by helping their wives cook meals. It's a good way to strengthen the bond between the husband and wife. A woman, when eating the food made by her husband, would definitely love him more because it shows that the man treats her equally and respects her. Park 1. Do you like going to parks? On the whole, I am keen on going to the park with my close friends since I really want to get close to the nature and enjoy the fresh air. In addition, as the park is tranquil, it's a great place for me to spend my quality time having chit-chat with my friends. 2. When was the last time you went to a park? To the best of my recollection, it must have been a few months ago. I went for a walk in the park with my boyfriend when we were full after the eating out at the restaurant. It was breezy in that night and it really put our foot up. 3. Do you think the parks where you live could be improved in any ways? To be honest, I think more facilities such as slides, wings or playgrounds should be added quite a bit in the park. Because there's not really that much thing to do in the park, so sometimes it's getting quite tedious to pay a frequent visit to the park. Furthermore, more leisure activities should also be provided for everyone to engage in and gain valuable experience. 4. Would you like to see more parks and gardens in your hometown? Yeah, definitely. There is just one park in my hometown, so I want to see more modern and complicated parks near my house so that I can go there to wind down and get away from the stressful working life. 5. Do you prefer to relax with your friends in a park or an indoor place? It depends on my emotions. If I'm in a good mood, I would certainly spare time hanging out with my friends in the park. However, if I'm sick and tired of studying and working, I'd rather stay at home and take a nap to recover my energy. Computer 1. Do you use computers? Of course, I have a personal laptop that I use on a daily basis. It plays an essential part in my life because as a teacher, I need to access the computer to prepare materials and mark students' homework every day. 2. How often do you use your computer? As I mentioned before, I frequently utilize it for my teaching work, such as designing the lesson plans, activities and materials for students. Furthermore, in my spare time, I also use the computer to wind down and recover my energy after nerve-wracking days at work. 3. What kind of computer skills do you have? I have acquired a variety of skills related to the computers. For example, I know to install different kinds of softwares such as Google Drive or Cock. In addition, I have a good typing skill, which is so useful in my teaching job. 4. How important is your computer to you? My computer is indispensable in my life and I can't imagine a day without it. I could start off by saying that using the computer allows me to increase the effectiveness of working and making a living. Another important thing that I want to add is that it helps me to become open-minded and have interesting experiences. For example, when I watch plenty of videos about traveling on YouTube channel, I seem to be lost in the stunning landscapes of many countries all over the world. 5. What kind of activities involves using computers? There are a wide range of activities associated with the computers, like sending emails, surfing the Facebook, watching films. Some people use computers for specialized purposes such as designing the buildings, programming softwares, or editing pictures. Bird 1. How do you feel about birds? Why do you feel that way? Honestly, birds are beautiful and cute creatures that should be well protected and loved. My parents raise some birds and every morning, they sing songs to wake me up. It's a great way to start my wonderful day, isn't it? 2. How do Vietnamese people feel about birds? It's difficult to know whether they are bird lovers or not. Some people keep birds as their pets. Some photographers are interested in capturing different photos of birds while others are only keen on eating them. 3. Are there many birds near your home? When I live in Hanoi, birds are rare sights since there are high-rise buildings in this city. But when I come back my hometown, I see a lot of cute birds and they sing sweet songs that draw my attention all the time. 4. Have you seen many different kinds of birds? Near your home. I have only seen a few. I am not much of a bird watcher. The ones I have seen are pretty common, like pigeons and sparrows. I haven't caught sight of any exotic breeds in the real life, except for those on the television. 5. How to protect birds from being extinct. In my point of view, to prevent the birds from being endangered, the government should invest more money in constructing birds protection areas. Moreover, law should be enforced to deter people from hunting birds for food or fur. Music 1. Do you like music? Why not? I really love music and it also plays an important part of my life. I'm really into going to a lot of music festivals such as Moon Soon, which is held in Hanoi every year. Even when I am busy, I play recorded versions in my laptop all the time. 2. What kind of music do you listen to? Well, it's hard for me to select only one genre of music. I love music in general, but if I need to choose, I would say that I'm a big fan of pop music. It makes me popular with my friends because we have the same taste in music. Furthermore, this kind of music has catchy tune and easy to sing along, for that reason. It has a huge adoring fans including me. 3. How often do you listen to music? As far as I mentioned before, music is a part of my life, so I listen to it every day. Whenever I'm depressed or sad, I have some massive hits in my phone to cheer me up. I love to sing along songs although I'm a bit tone deaf. 4. Do you play any kinds of musical instruments? Well, it's a pity that I didn't. I've always wished I'd taken up a musical instrument. I'd love to be able to play the guitar, but I think I have no potential to play it. I'm a bit tone deaf, so perhaps I'd find it hard to put my idea in practice. 5. Have you ever played in a music performance? Yes, I sang in school chorus several years ago and honestly, it was a shame experience in my school life. I couldn't read music and only played by ear but in wrong tones because I am tone deaf. Finally, I decided to lip sync and only make background music for my team. That was the last time I joined a music performance. 6. Has the kind of music that you listen to changed since you were young? Of course it happened already. Logically, people from different ages will have taste in music variation. When I was a teenager, I was fond of rock music which blasts out from its strong melody. I always listened to the latest rock songs as soon as they were released. However, when I grow up a little bit, classical music is my choice because it has slow melody that I can relax my mind. 7. Would you prefer to participate in a music band? I wished I could have enough ability to become a member of a music band as K-pop bands, for example. If I joined a band, our debut album would be about youth which inspire teenagers in life. We would have the first music performance in a stadium to capture a huge number of audiences and also attract adoring fans. But you know, I told you that I am tone deaf, so my intentions will never come true. Garden 1. Does your family have a garden? As I live in the countryside, My family possesses a large garden where my parents grow various types of vegetables and fruits. My mother is really into taking care of the garden because she wants to ensure to provide enough fresh vegetables for my family. 2. Do many people in Vietnam have their own garden? It just depends on the place they live. In the countryside, almost all people have their own garden because there is much open space. However, in the city, there are just concrete jungles. Hence there's no room for creating a garden. 3. If someone has a private garden in Vietnam, do they usually prefer to grow flowers or vegetables? I think it depends on different people. I guess that most of them are keen on growing flowers. The reason behind this is flowers give off aromatic smell when they are in bloom. By contrast, those who plant vegetables because they want to be self-sufficient in food production. 4. Have you ever grown anything? Actually, flowers are my cup of tea, especially red roses. But I'm always having my hands full, so I can't find time for growing plants. Having a kind of flower indoor is nice because it freshens the air and decorates the house. 5. Do Vietnamese people like growing flowers? I would argue that it depends on different age groups. For youngsters, they might prefer buying flowers rather than growing their own flowers. In contrast, for the elderly, they have more spare time and they are fond of taking care of the flowers as the pastime. Watch 1. How often do you wear a watch? Actually, because I'm always on the go, I wear my watch every day to check the time and arrange my hectic schedules. Having a wristwatch plays an important role in my life as it helps me to manage time more effectively and maintain a good health. 2. What was your first watch like? It was a Casio watch made from Japan, and it was given to me by my boyfriend on my 24th birthday party. It is white in color and it also has a silver metal trap, which is fashionable. Because this meaningful gift symbolizes for his immense love and care for me, I treasure and wear it all the time, even in the bedtime. 3. What kinds of watches do you like to wear? I am keen on wearing the Casio watch because there are various watches for me to choose. Furthermore, the Casio brand is well known for high-quality products and great guarantee. 4. Do people still wear watches in your country? Of course, the first major reason is that in our modern society, it's vital to be punctual. In order to prevent themselves from coming late for a meeting or an appointment, almost all citizens in my country use this timepiece. Another reason is that the booming development of state-of-the-art technology allows them to record their personal health data on the smartwatch. As a result, this leads to the increasing sales of smartwatches. 5. Did you have a watch when I was a child? I can't say for sure because it was a long time ago. However, to the best of my recollection, in my childhood, I didn't wear a watch because I found it unnecessary. As I previously mentioned, I had my first watch recently on my 24th birthday, so I think I didn't have any watch until my 24. Jewelry 1. Do you wear any jewelry? Why or why not? Actually, I have affection for jewelry such as a bracelet, ring, watch, or necklace. Whenever I hang out with my friends, I use these accessories to mix and match with the skirts and t-shirts in order to look more beautiful and fashionable. 2. Would you ever buy a piece of jewelry? Why or why not? To be honest, I do not have enough money to buy a piece of jewelry because they are so expensive. However, my mother ever bought me an agate bracelet at my 15th birthday party. Unfortunately, I broke it when I slipped and fell down on the way home. 3. What kind of jewelry do you like to see on other people? I fall in love with girls who combine their dress with long necklaces or bracelets. And for boys, as they don't usually fancy wearing jewelry, they would hardly go any further than a watch. I think they look attractive and stylish with those accessory items. 4. What kinds of jewelry do people in your country wear? I believe it depends on different groups of people. For the wealthy, they spend a huge amount of money buying sophisticated ornaments such as gold or diamond rings. By contrast, for those who have average income, they can only afford to buy some simple things like a silver necklace collar. 5. Why so many people choose to buy expensive jewelry to maintain value? I think it's a kind of investment. In modern society, the currency may be devalued due to the inflation. Therefore, since jewelry has substantial monetary value, people buy it to set aside their money for long-term purposes. In addition, if the accessory is of the top quality, it can be kept for a lifetime and passed as an heirloom in the family. Wedding 1. Have you ever been to a wedding? I've been to many weddings of my relatives and close friends. We come to share happiness with groom, bride, their families, and wish them a love and luck forever. We also bring some wedding gifts to their best ceremony ever. 2. Do you often attend weddings? All the time if I am invited. I attend weddings of my relatives, friends, or my colleagues as long as it is not a great distance away. I think that wedding is a memorable ceremony of a couple, marking the time when they decide to tie the knot and start their own family together, so all guests should come to share the happy moment with them. 3. What do people usually do at weddings in your country? In the weddings, groom and bride walk down the aisle together. Next, the groom puts the wedding ring onto the bride's finger, earrings on her ears, and a necklace on her neck. The guests witness and give them the sincere congratulations from the bottom of their heart on marriage. They all have meal, sing and dance together through reception. 4. What clothes do people usually wear at weddings in your country? Actually, it depends on each person. However, the most important thing to remember is that guests should not draw attention for the wrong reasons. That means they should not wear exotic or untidy clothes such as tearing jeans. Instead, a shirt and black pants for men and a beautiful dress mixing with high-heeled shoes are common for guests who are invited to a wedding. 5. Which people are usually invited to weddings? I think Group A includes family members and relatives. Group B should be close friends and Group C is colleagues. However, in Vietnamese weddings, guests also comprise friends and colleagues of brooms and bride's parents, too. Anyway, it is really important to draw up a guest list to make sure that you don't forget to invite important people. Concert 1. Have you ever been to a live concert? Actually, I have never gone to a live concert before, as the entrance tickets cost me an arm and a leg. I prefer staying at home and watching it on the TV rather than paying money for a real concert. In addition, the concert is deafening and overcrowded, which makes me suffocated and miserable. 2. What sorts of concerts do you have in your country? There are diverse genres of music concerts in the country such as pop, rock, which meet the demand of audiences across the globe. I used to go to a pop concert by my Tam singer and it was such a blast for me until now. 3. Are concerts ever held in your hometown? Well, as I live in a secluded community, concerts took place once in a blue moon. So far, there have been several concerts by renowned singers such as Dong Nhi or Ha An Tuan singers at the center of the city, which is quite far from my house. 4. When was the last time you attended a concert? As I previously said, going to the concert is not my cup of tea and it's impossible for me to afford expensive entrance tickets. Therefore, I'd rather stay at home and listen to the live music performance on YouTube to save a great deal of money and energy. 5. Would you like to go to a concert in the future? I think it depends on my budget. If I earn lots of money, I will definitely have a go at attending a concert. However, in the future, if I'm on the breadline, I'd rather choose to save up money to do other important things, except for a concert. Food 1. What types of food do you like to eat? Actually, I am not a fussy eater, so I can eat like a horse all types of food. However, I love biscuits or ice creams most because I really have a sweet tooth. 2. Do you like to cook? Honestly, I don't like to cook much, so a ready meal with fried chicken and salad is more convenient to me. When I don't enjoy fast food, I love visiting my aunt to enjoy a nutritious meal with home-cooked food. 3. Do you prefer dine in or dine out? I think it really depends on occasion. If my parents and I gather together, I prefer to prepare a slap-up meal with many kinds of food and drink, then enjoy the meal together at home. However, if I need to meet my friends, I would like to go to a restaurant to wine and dine them, which is more convenient than inviting them to my house. 4. What was your favorite food when you were a child? Well, I would say that my taste in food hasn't changed much since I was a little child. I was crazy about sweet food such as ice creams and biscuits, which ruined my teeth so terribly that I needed to go to dentist very often. 5. What types of food do you think are unhealthy? I am sure that some kinds of processed food are not healthy because they contain many preservatives, food colors and too much salt, which are harmful to your health if you overeat. The rich fat also spoils your appetite if you eat them before main meals. 6. Do you usually eat the same types of food every day? Definitely no. It would be run out of mill to eat the same types of food every day. For that reason, I try to change the food to provoke my appetite. Sometimes I pamper myself by eating fast food, however. Usually I remind myself of eating fresh and healthy food such as vegetables and fruits. 1. Could you tell me something about your family? Yes. I come from a nuclear family which consists of my parents, one older sibling and me. We get on well with each other and have interests in common. For example, we all like Korean movies, so we usually gather at night and watch TV together, or reading is our cup of tea, so we now have a big bookshelf with thousands of books. 2. What do you like doing most with your family? As I mentioned before, many things run in my family. We always have meals and watch TV together after a long working day, and Korean movies are usually our common choice. Furthermore, I usually read books with my father, and soon I become a bookworm as he is. You know, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. 3. Do you prefer spending time with your friends or family? Well, I think it quite depends on what I want to do at that time. If I like hitting the town and mingling with the busy life, I would choose to go with my friends who are mostly at the same age with me. We can go shopping, eat out, catch the latest movies on big screen or whatever I like. However, home is where my heart belongs when I'm exhausted. I mean, I will spend time with my family when I am in bad mood and just want a warm and tranquil atmosphere to slow me down. 4. Who are you close to in your family? Honestly, I really get on with my father most. Firstly, because we share some interests in common such as reading books or watching TV, and we all enjoy others' company. Secondly, he also has a good sense of humor and always has positive attitude about life, which helps me a lot when I am in trouble. 5. Is family important to you? It is obvious that family is the most important thing in my life. They are my beloved people who bring me up and care about me most, even sometimes we have conflicts. They will sacrifice everything for my sake, and their love is unconditional. They never expect anything from me except for my presence in their lives to support them to overcome ups and downs in life. Thus, I really love my family, and I think it is a warmest place to welcome me back every day. 6. How are you getting well with your parents? If you ask me that question when I was at schools, My answer would be totally different from my view now. I mean, when I was a student, I had many conflicts with them because what they wanted me to do was different from what I liked. However, when now I get mature, I realize that they are really kind-hearted and just want the best things for me. Therefore, I now live in harmony with my parents. 7. Would you prefer to live in a small or large family? Actually, I prefer my family remains unchanged. Although I also want to live in a large family with many relatives in which people can support others. I'm a bit worried about generation gaps, which normally lead to unnecessary conflicts and arguments. And of course, it is harder to find privacy due to too many people. Thus, I want to live in a nuclear family as I am doing now. 1. Do you like sports? Yes, I'm really keen on sports. I do judo twice a week and go to tennis court every weekend in the summer. I think it is really essential to keep fit and stay healthy, which help to raise your mood in work and study. 2. Do you often watch sports on TV? Well, football is the only sport program that I watch on TV. I'm terrible at playing football, but watching a football match is my favorite. Both home and away games bring me a lot of levels of emotion, and I spend my whole night to watch with my brother. 3. How often do you play sports? Actually, it depends on my schedule and my health status. If I don't need to work in the evening, I would take up exercise following a fitness program with a personal trainer to get into shape. However, if I feel weak, I would try to avoid being out of my condition and only take part in several sports such as jogging or yoga. 4. What is the most popular sport in your country? In my country, football is considered as the king of sport, so it is the most famous sport. 2 teams will defend in a football pitch, try to take possession of the ball, pass it to the teammates and aim to score a goal. They also try to avoid injuries and booking. People prefer football than any kinds of sports because of animating atmosphere it brings back. 5. Do you prefer watching or playing sports? Absolutely, I'd prefer to join sport activities rather than to sit in a dump place to watch others having fun. Firstly, playing sports helps us to keep fit and stay healthy. Secondly, it also raises people's competitiveness to win a match, for example. Finally, I believe that sports also teach us about discipline to play fair and how to cooperate with other people to blow a competition away. 6. Do you think it is difficult to learn a new sport? Definitely, it is tough to learn a new sport. Everyone needs to take up tremendous exercise and have a crack at practicing to meet the demands of the new sport. They also need a personal trainer to help them practice correctly to avoid unwanted injuries. 1. Air drama series popular in Vietnam? Actually, I do not think that they gain popularity in Vietnam. Vietnamese producers tend to produce low-budget movies, which do not cost them an arm and a leg. Also, people in the country prefer watching short films rather than long series because it might help them to save a great deal of precious time to do other vital things. 2. Do you think TV dramas reflect what happens in the real world? Of course, almost all TV dramas are associated with contemporary social issues such as friends and family conflicts or violence. For example, the newly released series, 13 Reasons Why, awakes young people about the serious consequences of online bullying and encourages people to protect the innocent from getting bullied. 3. What kind of movie do you like watching? To be honest, I'm addicted to watching American comedy series like Friends, Charmed or Desperate Housewives. It's because they help me to relax and recharge my batteries after stressful time at work or at university. In addition, they have taught me important lessons about friendship, family bond and true love. 4. Do you prefer watching films at home or at the cinema? It depends. In fact, The tickets are quite expensive, therefore, I can't afford to go to the museum all the time. Watching movies at home allows me to save a lot of money and have more freedom for myself. However, it's great to see box office hits with my boyfriend on special occasions such as Valentine or Women's Day because watching films on the big screen gives me a sense of romance and excitement. 5. How often do you watch films? I'm keen on watching American and British comedy series or movies at home whenever I have spare time. It depends on my working schedule, because I'm quite occupied with my work. Watching drama series and short films is a great way for me to improve my English listening and speaking skills. Also, it helps me to relieve my stress to work more effectively. 1. What is your favorite subject at school? As a student, I was never much keen on studying. I used to spend most of my time playing sports. But literature was an exception that I learnt with a lot of interest. I regarded literature to be my favorite subject because literature has a familiar ring to me and I've read most of the stories and poems in the books. As a result, it was the only subject that I passed with flying colors at schools. 2. Would you say that you are a good student? Honestly, I was not a good student because sometimes I play truant to hang out with my friends when I was at school. Although I studied in a reputable private school with a lot of skillful and dedicated teachers and assistants, I was not interested in studying much and I always missed deadlines. 3. Do you like your major? Why? Well, my major is English and I believe that I love my major to the moon and back. It did help me open the door to many horizons because language difference is no longer my barrier. I can easily listen or read materials in English. Communicate with people in English in both written and spoken forms. Even more, I also have more employment opportunities after graduating which require good English proficiency. So until now I have never regretted about majoring in English. 4. Do you think that the present education in Vietnam is keeping pace with the changes in modern life? In my opinion, Vietnamese education is keeping up with present life standard for 2 reasons. Firstly, thanks to technology development such as internet access or computers. Vietnamese students can connect to distance learning programs and gain more knowledge about their major. Secondly, foreign languages such as English are invested more and most Vietnamese students can speak at least a foreign language which broadens their mind and helps them integrate with worldwide friends. 5. Do you think that our education is really effective and practical? I am not really sure about the answer. Well, to be honest, I don't think that our education system is working well now because theoretical lessons still dominate practical ones. For example, we need more chances to communicate with foreigners in English rather than just learn it grammatically. But I think in the future, Vietnamese education system will be improved to be more practical. 6. What kind of school do you go to as a child? I went to public schools in my hometown when I was young. The schools helped me a lot to develop both theoretical knowledge and practical skills that I can apply for the job now. 1. Do you know your neighbors? Actually, I know my neighbors quite well. They are so kind-hearted and hospitable. I usually talk to them on a regular basis and we really enjoy our company. 2. What do you think of your neighbors? Well, they are like my brothers and sisters who keep their eyes on me when I feel under the weather. I also consider them as my close friends to confide in and count on when I encounter difficulties in my life and need support. 3. How often do you see your neighbors? As I previously said, we see each other every single day when we leave for work in the morning or come back home in the evening. At that time, we always remember greeting or asking each other about our life and work. It's quite a good fortune for me to live next to them. 4. When do you meet your neighbors? At the weekends, we often gather in the biggest house, hold a party, and gossip about the stories in our daily life together. My neighbors next door have a good sense of humor, so they tell jokes, which makes me burst into laughing every time I talk to them. 5. What problems do people sometimes have with their neighbors? I think the most common is probably noise. It's difficult to live with some night owl who turns the radio or music too loud at night or those who have a barking dog. If I were in these situations, they would drive me crazy. 1. Do you enjoy buying clothes? Why not? Yes. Like most young people, I was a slave to fashion and I'd always have to buy must-have shirts or pairs of shoes which were fashionable or trendy. I'm not so bothered now, though I still want to be on trend. I wouldn't feel comfortable when wearing something old-fashioned, but I don't take pride in my appearance as much as I used to be. 2. What type of clothes do you like to wear? Actually, I prefer casual clothes which give me comfort and flexibility even at home or at work. I hate getting dressed up for special occasions. I think it's possible to look good in a pair of jeans or shirt. 3. What type of clothes don't you like to wear? Well, I dislike wearing untidy and eccentric clothes. An example would be tearing or ripped jeans. I also avoid clothes with flashy colors or those that are too stunning. 4. Do you think the brand of clothing is important? Personally, I don't really care about the brand of clothing as long as what I buy has a good quality. Famous brands coming from fashion houses are usually too expensive for me, so I will rarely buy them. Often I can find inexpensive brands with the same quality which are mostly off the peg. 5. What kind of clothes do people in your country usually wear? I live in the tropical area, so people in my country usually wear clothes with light fabrics. In summer, we opt for light-colored clothes so that we can avoid the heat, but in winter, the weather is usually freezing cold, so a thick coat, a wool scarf or a sweater become our common choices. 6. Do you wear different styles of clothes now compared to 10 years ago? Well, I can say that there haven't been many changes with the clothes I wear now with that of about 10 years ago, because I am not the person who is always on trend. I still wear the regular jeans and shirts for casual days or formal clothes for business events. But I think since the trend has changed, it seems to affect me a little bit, especially in terms of jeans. I used to wear jean flares, but now I prefer slim, fit clothes. 7. Do your friends wear the same kinds of clothes as you? Well, I think that wearing style reflects our personalities. For that reason, my friends and I always wear different kinds of clothes, even we get on with each other very well. Some of my friends are fashionista, that they are the slaves of fashion and always keep up with the latest world fashion trend. They also have a good sense of style and buy must-have items. By contrast, I prefer classic clothes which are a little bit old-fashioned or simple styles such as jeans or shirt. However, we respect others and think that we have different eyes for fashion. 8. Would you be willing to wear a uniform at work? Well, as you know, office or company is not the catwalk stage where fashion brands are shown off. So I think that we all should wear uniforms when we go to work. A sense of belonging to a group and a feeling of equality among colleagues are the benefits that wearing uniforms brings to you. You don't feel distinguished in an organization and are also proud of place where you work for. And of course, you still look good in uniforms even you don't get dressed up much. 9. Do you think the clothes we wear say something about who we are? Well, I believe that what we wear reflects our personalities and characteristics. If you are a slave of fashion, you totally have tendency to buy must-have items because you want to follow the latest fashion trend. You always get dressed up and take a pride in your appearance when you go out. By contrast, if you prefer being simple, you tend to choose casual clothes which give you flexibility and comfort even at home or at work. 1. What is the weather like in your country? There are 4 seasons in my country, which are spring, summer, autumn, and winter respectively. But as a whole, the weather is typically either boiling hot or freezing cold. Sometimes, my country experiences a blanket of snow that is really wonderful and interesting for the youth. 2. Which months have the best weather in your country? I guess it depends on personal taste of each person. For me, I see the weather around July and August best because I can both enjoy a flash flood at the end of summer and a blustery spell. It makes me feel comfortable and focus on my duty. 3. Does it bother you much when it rains? It depends on different circumstances. You know, if I am going to school or hanging out with my friends, and I get caught in the rain, and then I get drenched, of course I will really detest it. However, if there is a boiling hot spell lasting for several days, heavy rains makes me feel much better and more comfortable. 4. What is your favorite kind of weather? I am passionate about a cool spell that appears in the autumn. It is when I am able to enjoy a fresh air that makes me healthier. Also, I am quite fond of the weather when it has a blanket of snow because I can go out in order to go skiing and make snowman with my neighbors. 5. Is there any type of weather you really don't like? Certainly, yes, it is when there is a boiling hot spell lasting several days without torrential rains. It is really uncomfortable, especially when the electric power cuts off. In addition, if I am outside, I am not fond of heavy rains because I will get soaked and be able to have a cold. 6. What do you do when the weather is not good? When the weather is poor, such as floods, I usually sit at home to watch my favorite foreign films so that I could learn English, or other foreign languages faster. Besides, I sometimes do the housework to help my mother when the bad weather prevents me from going out. 7. Would you like to have the same kind of weather all the time? No. I am more interested in the changeable weather because I can enjoy a variety of tastes of life. In addition, it will benefit for more types of people. Sometimes, it must be sunny to help farmers to dry rice. However, it has also a rainy spell to serve needs of gardeners. In general, if it could have the mild climate all the time, it would be more beneficial to everyone. 8. Does the weather influence your mood? Yes, the weather does, especially rains. A heavy rain that lasts several days makes me feel so down because I can't go out to chit-chat with my friends. Also, it is when I see a period of time with a cloud in the sky. It is so miserable that I don't want to do whatever. 9. Is it worse to feel too hot or too cold? I suppose that it is worse to feel too hot because if you are too cold you can dress up warm. However, if you are too hot, you have to always sit in front of fans, or condition airs and do not want to do anything. Not mentioning electricity cut, you can't stand a boiling hot like that. 10. Do you always pay attention to the weather forecast? Yes, because Vietnam has the changeable weather. I always keep a watchful eye on the weather forecast. I spend an hour in evening watching it every day because it enables my timetable not to be rained off. Sometimes, if I am too busy in the evening, I will watch long-range forecast to save my time. It is really useful. One. What is the weather like in your country? There are 4 seasons in my country, which are spring, summer, autumn, and winter respectively. But as a whole, the weather is typically either boiling hot or freezing cold. Sometimes, my country experiences a blanket of snow that is really wonderful and interesting for the youth. 2. Which months have the best weather in your country? I guess it depends on personal taste of each person. For me, I see the weather around July and August best because I can both enjoy a flash flood at the end of summer and a blustery spell. It makes me feel comfortable and focus on my duty. 3. Does it bother you much when it rains? It depends on different circumstances. You know, if I am going to school or hanging out with my friends, and I get caught in the rain, and then I get drenched, of course I will really detest it. However, if there is a boiling hot spell lasting for several days, heavy rains makes me feel much better and more comfortable. 4. What is your favorite kind of weather? I am passionate about a cool spell that appears in the autumn. It is when I am able to enjoy a fresh air that makes me healthier. Also, I am quite fond of the weather when it has a blanket of snow because I can go out in order to go skiing and make snowman with my neighbors. 5. Is there any type of weather you really don't like? Certainly, yes, it is when there is a boiling hot spell lasting several days without torrential rains. It is really uncomfortable, especially when the electric power cuts off. In addition, if I am outside, I am not fond of heavy rains because I will get soaked and be able to have a cold. 6. What do you do when the weather is not good? When the weather is poor, such as floods, I usually sit at home to watch my favorite foreign films so that I could learn English, or other foreign languages faster. Besides, I sometimes do the housework to help my mother when the bad weather prevents me from going out. 7. Would you like to have the same kind of weather all the time? No. I am more interested in the changeable weather because I can enjoy a variety of tastes of life. In addition, it will benefit for more types of people. Sometimes, it must be sunny to help farmers to dry rice. However, it has also a rainy spell to serve needs of gardeners. In general, if it could have the mild climate all the time, it would be more beneficial to everyone. 8. Does the weather influence your mood? Yes, the weather does, especially rains. A heavy rain that lasts several days makes me feel so down because I can't go out to chit-chat with my friends. Also, it is when I see a period of time with a cloud in the sky. It is so miserable that I don't want to do whatever. 9. Is it worse to feel too hot or too cold? I suppose that it is worse to feel too hot because if you are too cold you can dress up warm. However, if you are too hot, you have to always sit in front of fans, or condition airs and do not want to do anything. Not mentioning electricity cut, you can't stand a boiling hot like that. 10. Do you always pay attention to the weather forecast? Yes, because Vietnam has the changeable weather. I always keep a watchful eye on the weather forecast. I spend an hour in evening watching it every day because it enables my timetable not to be rained off. Sometimes, if I am too busy in the evening, I will watch long-range forecast to save my time. It is really useful. 1. Do you live in a house or an apartment? Actually, I live in a semi-detached house in the suburbs of Hanoi which has a beautiful back garden. I have a double room which is shared with my sister. Next year my parents are going to move into an apartment block in the city so that they can go to work easily and conveniently. 2. Which is your favorite room in your home? Why? My favorite room is the living room because it is a spacious room which includes all the mod cons. In addition, the living room is near a back garden, so we can look out onto it to enjoy the fresh atmosphere and to catch the afternoon sun. 3. Is there anything about your house that you would like to change? Well, yes. It would be very nice if our house is a thatched cottage that will create the cool atmosphere. It is almost boiling hot spells there. So we usually have to take full advantage of all the mod cons to make our house cool, and it is very wasteful of electric power. For this reason, I really want to change the house into a thatched cottage to save energy. 4. Tell me something else about your house. Well, actually behind the house there is a mobile home that my parents usually use when they travel. It is very convenient because my parents are able to take all their home comforts with them. It is not an ideal home which everyone wants to own. But for me it is a wonderful tool whenever my family is on holiday. 5. Would you like to move to a different home in the future? Well, as I said before, my family will move into an apartment block in Hanoi next year to conveniently go to work. However, to be honest, I don't really want to move to a different home, especially in the city because of the polluted air. In addition, I consider the current house as a permanent address, so it is hard for me to change a different address. Also, I think my parents may be in trouble because they are the first-time buyers. 6. Tell me about where you live. I live with my parents and my sister in a bungalow which we moved into recently. Several days ago, we had a house warming party with my friendly neighbors. My new house has a number of single rooms which is adequate for all family members. 7. How long have you lived there? I have lived there for several days. Actually, before that we lived in rented accommodation which is fully furnished. So, this is the first time we own our own home. 8. What sort of accommodation would you most like to live in? If I could, I would buy a terraced house in the suburbs of Hanoi because it is really easy to get on well with neighbors. In addition, I would like the house to be near a mountain so that I could have a chance to climb up a mountain with my friends. 9. What kind of accommodation do most people live in your city? In my city, the majority of people live in apartment blocks which are fully furnished. Also, there are available all the mod cons in those apartments. Especially, people who live in the apartments are always house hunting because they would like to get on the property ladder. One. Where are you from? I am from a countryside in the north of Vietnam, which has a tranquil atmosphere. Although it is a mountainous region, it is still a tourist attraction because of its spectacular landscape. Every year, there are a number of local and international visitors coming there so that they can escape from the hectic pace of life in big cities and enjoy a fresh air. 2. What is it like where you live? Now I am living in Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. You can see there are a number of shopping centers and fashionable boutiques there, so I can buy anything. Another point is that although traffic congestion is a big challenge in Hanoi, especially at rush hour, the government still maintain a good public transport, so it is so easy to go around. 3. Do you like your hometown? Why, yes, there are many things I am really into when living in Hanoi. Firstly, because it is where my relatives and best friends live. So I always feel a strong sense of warmth. Also, Hanoi has a lot of tourist attractions where I can come and meet international visitors to improve my English ability. Especially, I really enjoy the vibrant beauty of the city at night. It is a sprawling city, which has many high-rise flats, and office blocks. 4. Do you like living in the city? Yes, I do, because I can hang out with my friends at Pavement Cafe, and also go shopping with them in fashionable boutiques. Besides, there are a variety of lively restaurants where I can visit in order to reduce stress after a hard, working week. The only thing that I don't like about the city is the very high cost of living, so I have to work flat out to afford my basic needs. 5. Would you prefer to live somewhere else? Why, for the moment, I am quite happy living here, but sometimes I really want to live in a place with a lower cost of living and leisurely pace of life. Hanoi always makes me get in the rat race, which sometimes annoys me because I prefer a sense of community. That is why I usually close down a weekend and visit some places on the outskirts of Hanoi. 6. Do you think your hometown is a good place for young people? Why? Yes, absolutely. Hanoi is an ideal place for young people in terms of amenities such as lively bars, and shopping malls which are completely suitable for the young. Also, there are a number of industrial zones or office blocks surrounding it, so young graduates can easily land decent jobs. 7. Do you get many tourists visiting your area? Certainly yes. As I have said before, Hanoi has a lot of tourist attractions which are really worth coming. Thanks to convenient bus routes, I can get tourists to travel around where I live. Visitors will be really keen on activities in the heart of the city such as the fair, art exhibition, and so on. One. Do you like holidays? Why not? Yes, I am passionate about holidays. You know, to deal with the hectic pace of life, I need to have short breaks regularly so that I can get away from it all. Especially, I think everyone should have a holiday of a lifetime that makes their lives more interesting and significant. However, I detest tourist traps because it wastes a huge amount of money and all services seem to be overloaded. 2. What kind of holiday do you like? Well, still being a student. So catering is the kind of holiday that I really enjoy. Its cost is quite reasonable to my tight budget. My friends and I usually go sightseeing to picturesque villages after an exam and prepare all things by ourselves. We can reduce stress about study on these holidays. 3. Do you prefer to travel or stay at home during holiday periods? Why? To be quite honest, I am very interested in traveling during holiday periods. These holiday periods are when I put my feet up and escape from the hectic pace of life. Besides, traveling is a good chance for me to take up extremely interesting sports like windsurfing and waterskiing. Moreover, I can sample the local foods when I travel rather than stay at home and eat normal ones. 4. What do you like to do on a holiday? I really prefer to go out with my friends at night because this is when we can see stunning landscapes of that holiday destination. Also, if I have a seaside vacation, I usually laze around on the sandy beach on the holiday or take a sunset cruise. So romantic it is. 5. When do you prefer to take your holidays? Why? Unlike most other travelers, I like to take holidays out of season because it is the time when fewer people travel. For this reason, I am able to go through passport control faster and easily. Also, queuing up in the check-in desk will take less time. Hence, I think that traveling out of season is an ideal time for a busy student like me. 6. Do you prefer traveling alone or with friends? To be honest, I am afraid of feeling alone, so traveling with my friends is my interest. For me, to have a holiday of lifetime, I certainly have to go to my best friends who are willing to come with me to a far-off destination in the world. In addition, we can take part in many team activities together such as going out at night, going sailing, taking some sunbathing and so on. 7. Do you have many tourists in your country? Actually, Vietnam has a variety of places of interest which attract millions of visitors. When visitors come there, they can enjoy the breathtaking views of the mountainous areas in the north such as Ha Giang, Moc Chau. In addition, tourists are able to enjoy bustling trade and try to bargain with sellers about prices of goods in Ben Ton or Dong Xuan market. This is the very interesting experience that I am sure most foreigners prefer. Some, otherwise, may be into historical places like the Temple of Literature, Uncle Ho Mausoleum, to broaden their knowledge about culture and history of Vietnam. 8. Is there a popular tourist destination in your country? Yes, as I said before. My country has a lot of tourist attractions, so it is an ideal destination for visitors. If visitors would like to go sightseeing, they should go to Ha Long Bay. In contrast, If they want to have wildlife safari, the mountainous areas are perfect holiday destinations for them. Another case is suitable for the couples who want to enjoy romance. They should really go to Da Nang to take a sunset cruise in their honeymoon.